Hello, Professor P. My name is Doug McMullen, and this is listening assignment number 8. We'll start off by talking about the town hall. One of the goals of Baroque art was to fill space with action and movement. As you look at the structure, you can see that there's a lot of things to look at here between the spires, the sculptures, the clock tower, the the shields that are on the facade, the family crests that are on the shields. Lots of things to look at. They also were known to use shadows to make the structure seem imposing and create depth. And obviously, as you look at this, it's a very imposing structure. And so they certainly accomplished that. By and large, though, as you look at the structure, it's asymmetrical. The clock tower kind of stands alone. If you look at the individual sections, apart from the clock tower, you'll see that there is a rhythm, there's an order to it. And then there's lots of statues that are on the outside of this structure that depict life, which Baroque art was known for. Many of the features that are on the structure, on the facade, are not structural. They're simply for ornamentation, which is one of the things you could say about this structure. It's very ornamental. It's quite ornate. It kind of parallels the Bach's Concerto Number 5 or the Brandenburg Concerto, in that the ritornello form refers to the exchange back and forth between the tutti or the orchestra and the soloists. So the soloists you might construe to be the spires that are along the facade, the peaks that kind of jump up there that are supported by the lower portions of the facade, which you might parallel to the orchestra. And the other thing with the Concerto Number 5 is that the Concerto Grosso creates a contrast of textures between the soloist and the tutti. I would say that parallels the structure perfectly, with the spires and with the varied heights of the facade. One of the other features with Baroque music is the contrast between loud and soft sound. So we do have a lot of contrast back and forth here between the depths to the outside of the windows and the spires that are present there. The other thing that jumps out at me is that Brandenburg's concerto is polyphonic. So there's lots of things to listen to, just like with a structure, there's lots of things to look at. There's lots of sculptures and various things that are going on there. Additionally, during the concerto, there's the harpsichord virtuoso's solo, and that's designed to stand out, similar to the clock tower here. It's designed to make an impression. It's designed to kind of awe people, and I would say that that the solo that's in the concerto, as well as the clock tower that's present here, does that quite well. As far as instruments used for the concerto, I heard flutes, strings, and then obviously the harpsichord, which is what the virtuoso plays. Moving on to the Supreme Court. Now, this is strongly influenced by Greek and Roman architecture. You'll see that it's bright white marble. It's very symmetrical, much less ornate than the town hall. It's got the one main structure where the portico is supported by the 16 columns, and that main structure is what kind of draws the eye to it. The design highlights are functional with this facility. There's not a lot of just superfluous ornamentation for ornamentation's sake. There is some designs on the portico, but it's fairly limited to what's there in contrast with the town hall. Mozart's Ein klein Nachtmusik, or Little Night Music, represents this structure pretty well, in that it's ternary. So there's A, B, A form. And as you look at the structure, it's pretty easy to see how that jumps out. The portico section would be the B, and then A to the left and A to the right. One of the other things that I noticed is both of the A sections of this piece were stately sounding, and I would say that this is a very stately looking building. It had periods of staccato notes contrasted with legato sections. And one of the things that they did in this piece that they did not do with Baroque music is they used crescendos and decrescendos as opposed to terrace dynamics. And this structure just looks very smooth in relationship or in comparison to the town hall. And again, at the return of the A section, that is again stately sounding. Thank you for your time.